Hello and welcome to FinextraTV. I'm Hannah Wallace and we're here at Sibos 2022 in Amsterdam. Joining me now in the studio to talk about transforming cross-border settlement is Dave Sissens, CEO of RTGS.global. Dave, great to have you in the studio. Thanks for joining us.
Very welcome. It's a pleasure to be here. It's great to be back in person. What a great event it's turning out to be.
I know, isn't it? And talking about a really interesting topic, transforming cross-border settlement, at the heart of a lot of discussions during Sibos. And I would like you to bring us up to date to begin with, because we have come a long way with cross-border payments, but there are still some constraints, certainly in the infrastructure side of things as well. So tell us, what are some of the hurdles we're still seeing, and what's the consequence of this tension we're seeing?
We've seen terrific innovation in this space over the last 10, 20 years. Retail payments, using your mobile phone to pay things, international transfers, loads of innovation in this space, but very much focused on the retail market. So where we've seen less innovation has been in the wholesale settlements, so the interbank wholesale market, where trillions are transacted on a daily basis. We've seen much less innovation. So we're seeing a lot of friction still. So friction, I mean risk, settlement risk, counterparty credit risk. We've got risk caused by time differences between countries around the world. When one bank may pay another bank, that country may be open, but in the other end of that transaction, perhaps it's still shut. So there's risk there. So there's still a lot of risk. There's a lot of friction because many correspondents are in the payment chain. So to get money from one place to another quite often involves going through many hands. And also the cost therefore is elevated. Lots of people doing lots of processing along that chain means that the cost of transacting is very high.
Right.
So from a wholesale perspective, we've still got a lot of work to do. There's the need to be able to move wholesale money quicker, faster, and with less risk.
Yeah, the need is there. And so do you think we are looking at a future where cross-border settlement and payments are going to be truly real-time? And how do you think we can address some of those challenges you've highlighted?
Well, it certainly gets RTGS.global out of bed every morning. So we do see a future where instant cross-border wholesale payments will be possible. We're developing a settlement fabric around the world where we work with central banks, we work with payment system operators, and we work with the commercial banks to enable them to transact payment versus payment, so no risk, 24 hours a day, and in wholesale money. So they can now shift these big chunks of money that are really the fuel for the retail payment systems. They can settle their foreign exchange transactions much quicker. We see a world where there's a new network of banks that are able to transact directly with each other.
Yeah.
So moving all of the people out of the chain and enabling banks to correspond with the person, the target, if you like, of the payment. So that will reduce friction and cost. And then because we're open 24 hours, we see a world where actually all the risk goes as well. So significant change coming over the next few years.
All right, okay, it's sounding very positive. And innovation within digital assets and also alternative technology architecture is great for competition, but do you think that's enough that we need for the change, and why?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
So there's some exciting technology, CBDCs, distributed ledger technology. There's some really exciting technology out there, and you're right, that's helping the competition. It's really fueling different solutions to come to the market, and they all have a place without doubt. We will see central bank digital currencies in the next 10 years, and I'm talking wholesale and retail there, I think. They're not necessarily the panacea to the problem of cross-border settlement though. So what do I mean by that? I think there are some great advancements that they can bring domestically. I think internationally though, they're not trying to answer the problem of that fabric that I'm talking about that is needed. So in order for settlement to instantly happen cross-border in central bank money, you may need more than one CBDC. So what happens if we've got countries operating at different paces? Then you need to address the true interoperability. How many hybrid states do we need to go through over the next 50 years whilst everyone adopts some of this new technology? So I think there's a place. You're right. It fuels competition. It's not necessarily the perfect answer though to solving cross-border settlement.
Right, okay, that's really interesting. So let's go back to the infrastructure, because I want to hear about some of the areas you're seeing it having the greatest impact, and perhaps you could share some examples of where you're seeing it in action as well.
Yeah, so that's actually, if you think about what's needed to solve this problem, is an instant settlement fabric around the world. That's where we're seeing some great changes. We're seeing payment system operators around the world wishing to interconnect their systems now. And that will then mean that they can provide their banks with new services. They can provide cross-border settlement in instant capabilities to their domestic market. Now that's happening at a retail level, and there's lots of schemes and projects and studies going on around the world. The BIS have got many of these projects underway. But at a wholesale level, we're just starting to see that now. That's a really game-changing advancement, I think. When you think about high-value payment systems now being able to exchange liquidity with each other cross-border, it's really enabling for those economies and for economic growth around the world. So it's a very bright future, and I think it's only a couple of years away before we see a significant mass adopting this new technology.
Really exciting stuff and fascinating as well. I'm glad we got a chance to speak with you, Dave. Thank you so much, and I'm sure we'll be continuing this conversation further down the line, but look, it's day 3. I'll let you get back out there, and thanks very much.
Thank you, a pleasure.